So what is the home listing process? And let me see if I could demystify it for everyone who is thinking about selling their home. No matter where you're selling your home, I'm going to run through my process and what I do and how I handle it. Now, every listing agent does it a different way, or maybe they do it the same way. I don't know. But I'm going to tell you exactly how the process works, how we get started, how we get your home on the market, expose it to the most people that we can, and then we negotiate offers and we close. And here's how my listing process works. So typically what I wind up doing is I will usually get a phone call or some kind of inquiry from a home seller that is thinking about selling their home. And my first thing I do is I send out a questionnaire to them to go over the particulars of the home, what they're looking for in a listing agent, how much their home is valued at or how much they think it's valued at. I ask them, what attracted them to the home in the first place. And most of the time, what attracted a homeowner to the home is the same thing that's going to attract another broker or another home buyer to the home. So the way it works, pretty linear, but it's a process I developed over the last 2 decades. And what I'll wind up doing is after I send out that initial questionnaire, also it helps to figure out whether or not we're a good match for each other and if we're going to have a good outcome. So once I send that back, they send that back to me, I set up an appointment, and we'll meet at the property. And in the meantime, before our appointment, I will get together all the comprehensive sales, look at the market, look at the absorption rate of the market, look at also the demand for homes in that market, that type of home that we're going to be listing. And then I will also look at values of other like-kind homes to see where we can come up with a price that is compelling to the marketplace. So once I get that all together, I usually meet the homeowner at their house and have a brief conversation about, what their wants and needs are and what they're doing next and how they feel about selling their home, because a lot of homeowners have been in their home 30, 40, sometimes 50 years, and there's a big emotional bond they have with that home. And us as realtors, we walk in, we don't have that emotional bond, but we can give them an idea of what to expect and how to feel. Some people are upset even though they got a great price, but they're upset because they raised their kids there. You need to learn how to handle that, because residential real estate, I don't care what anybody says about comps, valuations, about appraisals, 99% of residential real estate is mostly based on emotion. And when you have a seller that's been in their home for quite some time, they absolutely have an emotional bond to that home. So we sit there and we try to navigate the waters, and we don't want to insult them, but we will tell them what we think may help. If there's some adjustments we can make to the home, if there's maybe some decorating, some painting, maybe sometimes we need some light staging or we need full staging. It all depends. If it's a bare open house and there's no furniture and they have already moved out, then sometimes I would suggest some light staging to make the house look livable. And it does help make the photos look a lot better. Worst case scenario, we can't do that or don't have time to do that, then we will virtually stage the property. And that's a whole nother conversation. Sometimes I like it, sometimes I don't, as long as it doesn't misrepresent the property. So after we do that, I usually have them walk me through the home. And they'll ask me, what do you think we need to do in order to get the most amount of money for this home? I will give my suggestions, and I will tell them how to handle certain things. And especially homes with oil tanks, and if they're active oil tanks or not active oil tanks, or if there's some material defect on the home we have to overcome. Either we fix it, disclose it, credit it, or figure out a way to work around that as well. Remember, most of my sellers have not bought a home in over 20 years, so they don't know the process. Last time they bought a home, it was different. So I'll go through the house, and then we'll sit down and we'll go over the comps or the value of the home. And we'll come to a value together. We'll come to a valuation together. And what I like to do is, there's a couple different ways to price it. You can price it under, at, or over. I tend to like pricing my properties at what they're supposed to be sold at. And even though we do that, sometimes we still get way over and we get multiple offers right now in this current market. So after we get that done, paperwork is signed. Paperwork comes back to the office. As soon as that happens, we start our Coming Soon campaign. And our Coming Soon campaign consists of emailing and reaching out to our database and brokers that we worked with in the past, and also our direct mail campaign, which goes out to the neighborhood to let everybody know the home is for sale. The sign goes on the lawn, and the process begins. Then we schedule photography, and I absolutely, positively believe in professional photography, professional video, and there's a reason for that. Professional video and professional photography will make your home stand out in a marketplace. It's very competitive right now. Even though the lack of inventory around my town here in northern New Jersey, there's still competition out there, and your home needs to be put out there in the best light. Because what winds up happening is when people are out there on the web and they're looking for a home, you got to stop the scroll. You got to make it compelling. They look at, oh, okay, great. Oh, I like this home. Let's go see that home. Another component to it is our massive social media comprehensive campaign. And our social media campaign consists of Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, YouTube, LinkedIn, and now Lemonade we're starting to experiment with. And we get over about 200,000 unique views per month. And they're all geared to bring people to come see your home. It's advertising 101, I always say. The more eyeballs on a property, the better chance you have at selling that home at the better price. The better chance you have at getting multiple offers. Now, once we get past that point and we're fully blown and we're out there and we're all over the marketplace, we arrange showings. I like to monitor my showings. I don't have a shotgun approach where I just say, here, go right ahead and show our home anytime you want. I like to schedule our showings with approved buyers that are looking for homes. Okay? With approved buyers that are looking for homes. Initially, we do our first big mega open house. We invite the neighbors, we send out mailers, we do email blasts, and of course it goes across all the major top tiers, all the consumer sites out there as well. So we have our first big open house and we watch the offers come in. And as the offers come in, we negotiate them, and then we figure out which one we're going to pick. And this is where the fun begins, because after we do get an offer, now you have to work with your clients to walk them through the whole home inspection process, the home appraisal process, the home inspection negotiation process, and possibly sometimes if it underappraises, you have to negotiate that as well. That's where realtors really earn their money, right there. Okay, exposure, get the clients, negotiate, and then we're off to the races, and then we're off to a closing. Once we get past the initial appraisal, then it's just waiting for the closing. A typical closing takes about anywhere from 30 to 45, maybe 60 days, more like 45 to 60 days. And that's really listing and marketing a property in a nutshell. If you're a home seller out there and you have any questions about it, I'd be glad to speak with you. Matt Fede, Realty Executives Elite Homes. Have a great night.